Hey, what is going on, everybody? Jason here, and in today's video I got 10 unique items that I've recently sold that I wanted to share with you so you could possibly be on the lookout when you're out there thrifting yourself. These items made me some really good revenue, good return on investment, and we'll go over all of them in just a second. Also want to thank everybody who subscribed to the channel. It just went over 300 subscribers, I think last week. And I really appreciate everybody watching the channel. I really hope you're enjoying this content. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you're interested in reselling items to make some money on the side, this is the channel for you. All right, let's just jump right in. The first item here that I have is this metal Coca-Cola sign. If you remember correctly, this was in my last haul video. And I picked this one up and I didn't really know a whole lot about it. It looked vintage to me, and we'll kind of take a look here at the sign. As you can see, it looks weathered. It's actually hollow. It's not, the Coca-Cola is not white. Let me see if I can find, there you go. I took a picture of it here so you can see this is cut out. It's not really white like you see here. That was just my background. But I just wasn't sure if this was 100% authentic. And as I got to looking at it and doing research, it looked to be 100% authentic. And I almost left this behind at the thrift store because I was like, well, this is just kind of a reproduction thing. I sold this within I think 30 minutes or an hour of listing it, and it sold for the full price of $100. So pretty sure I could have got a lot more for it, but I'm definitely very happy with what I did get, and the person that bought it left me positive feedback immediately. So let's go over the numbers on this one. I paid $1.50 for this sign, sold it for $100. It shipped first class. I think it was pretty close to like 15 ounces. So it cost me about $5 to ship it. eBay and PayPal got $10. So in the end, I made $83 profit off of this Coca-Cola sign. All right, next up is an official City of Atlanta Police Department hat. I actually found two of these on different days. As you can see here, it's got the actual City of Atlanta patch. That is their official patch that they wear. So really, really cool hat. It was made by Under Armour. It had the American flag here on the side, and then it had the Under Armour logo here. This one was blank in the back. The other one I found actually had Apex unit written on it. Both of them sold the same day for $30, and they went to the same person here in Georgia. The same person bought both of them. I guess they bought my first one, and maybe they've got a saved search for Atlanta Police Department's hat, and a couple days later when I found the other one and posted it, he bought both of them. And left me positive feedback on both of them and paid me the full $30. So maybe I could have got a little more. So maybe, in your city, be on the lookout for these type of items. They will sell very quickly. So the numbers on this one, this hat was $2. We sold it for $30. Hats shipped first class because they're extremely lightweight, but you do want to put them in a box. eBay, with your store coupon, they make boxes that are 10 by 8 by 6. I use my store coupon, quarterly coupon from time to time to buy those boxes because they're perfect for hats. You do not want to ship a hat in a poly bag or anything like that because you want the structure of the hat to remain when it gets to the customer. And even in a 10 by 8 by 6 box, it still ships first class. And with this guy being in Georgia, I think it was only a little over $3 for me to ship it, but I just went ahead and rounded that up to $4. eBay and PayPal got $3, so in the end, I made $21 profit on this hat. Here is one of my better sales this year so far, and I don't think I've uploaded the video where I found this one, or I might have only found this one day and decided not to put it on the video. I can't remember. So if you see a video after this one showing this clock, and then I've kind of already given away what I sold it for. But this clock was really neat. This is a Seiko quartz desk clock. It's got an airplane second hand. I did do a video in the description. There is a link that you can go to. It's called Seller Tools, and it shows you how to upload a video on YouTube, and then it converts that link and allows you to post the video on your eBay page. Now, what I found with that is that the video doesn't work on mobile devices. The person actually has to copy and paste the link into a web browser in order for it to work. But I think that's really what helped this clock sell. See, here we go. Right here is my video. I could press, well, let's just try it. Let's press play. All right, so you see how the second hand there is going around in circles. So when you put something like this on your listing, it's going to help it sell, especially when it's something of, $100 or more value. You definitely want to get, people looking at it. So there is the video. Put that in my listing, and this clock, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was $6, but it could have been 10, so I'm just going to go with 10. So the numbers on this one, I paid $10 for the clock. I sold it for $150, and by the way, it only took about 2 to 3 days to sell. It did cost $10 to ship it priority mail. eBay and PayPal got $15, so in the end, I made $115 off of this Seiko clock. And what made this one expensive is that you can't find it. There were absolutely none on eBay. I actually had to Google it to find out what it was, and I Googled it, and somebody sold one on Etsy or something like that, and I was able to use some of the information they had to create my listing. Could I got a little more? Possible, but I'm happy with the $150 and only lasted a few days before it sold. All right, here's the Froggy phone. This was in my last haul video. This is a vintage landline frog phone. When you open, as you can see here, when you open its mouth, it opens up like a frog's mouth would, and that's how you talk on the phone. Really neat item here. Something you don't see every day. There were none listed on eBay, so I just put mine at $49.99, and it did take a few weeks. It did not sell right away. Took a few weeks, but it sold for full price of $50. No offer or anything like that. So the numbers on this one, I paid $5 for the phone. I believe it was $5. And again, if you hadn't seen my videos before, I just do an overall cost of goods for tax purposes. I don't individualize each price of each item, so that's why if I can't remember the exact price, just give me a little bit of leniency there, because I just do an overall cost of goods versus documenting every single item. It just saves a lot more time. So I believe I paid $5 for it, sold it for $50. Shipped for priority mail $8. eBay and PayPal got $5, so in the end, I made $32 off the frog phone. Okay, next up is a pair of Cole Haan Resort ankle boots. These are women's. As you can see, they have a very nice red color to them. I'll kind of go through and show y'all how I take pictures of my shoes. This little stand back here you can get off of Amazon. It's dirt cheap. I use it for usually the first few pictures. Here it's sitting on the stand, and then I take it off and just take some pictures of them just on a flat surface. But this is how I take all my pictures. I try to take, always you want to get a picture of the inside soles if you can. That really gives the customer a good idea of what kind of condition the shoe's in. And if there, of course, if there are any flaws or anything like that, you would want to take a picture of that. And I absolutely have no idea why I took that picture right there. I think that's a mistake because there was no flaw on these shoes. These shoes were in immaculate condition. And you also want to be sure and take a picture of the soles. Always take a picture of the soles so they can see how much wear is remaining on them and how much they already have. These shoes I did take a best offer on. So I took a best offer for $40. I paid $6 for these shoes. They shipped for $8 priority mail. You can put shoes in the priority mail shoebox that is free at USPS.com. eBay and PayPal got $4, so in the end, I made $22 off these Cole Haan women's shoes. And shoes are definitely one of my favorite things to sell. Here is a lot of Two Straight Down is the brand name golf polo shirts. I found both of these while I was in Alabama. So I had never heard of this name before. It was a new brand to me. I did a little research. I think these shirts go for about $80, $85 brand new. So I found two of them. I think they averaged out to be about $3 a piece at the two, and I found them at two different thrift stores. So I just lotted them together, figured because they were the same size, and figured that would be the best way to get rid of them. And it did. It worked out. Now I did have these probably for about 2 months. before they finally sold. But that's okay. Clothing is more of a long tail item. Clothing is not something that typically sells overnight. Some items will, but for the most part, any clothing items, if you've ever sold clothing before, it takes a little while for them to sell. So if you're new to reselling, clothing is pretty much in every thrift store, easy to find, but they're also what we call longer tail items, so could take you a little while to sell them. So the numbers on this one, I actually took a best offer on this one at $35. So I sold both of these for $35. I paid $6 for both of them. I shipped them in a legal flat rate envelope for just over $7. eBay and PayPal got $3. So in the end, I made $19 off of these shirts. And here is the best. This is another one of my best sales this year. If you don't know about under the cabinet radios, especially by Sony, they can be worth a really, really good amount of money. This one, I started it off at $399. This one was brand new is the reason I did this. This one, as you can see here, it's brand new. It had the remote. Everything was still factory sealed. The box had some wear on it, as you can tell. When were these made? Early 2000s, late 90s, I guess. But people still desire them. I don't know if they desire them for like maybe their camper that they take, camping on vacation and they just need to save room, or people use them in movies. I have no clue. I really don't care. It's just nice to be able to make really good money off of them. So on this one, I started out at $399. It didn't sell for over a month, so then I brought it down to $349. Still didn't sell. Brought it down to $299, and then finally one night I was like, you know what, this thing should be selling. So I brought it down to $249. Wasn't gonna go any lower than that. And the same night I brought it down to $249, somebody offered me $200 for it, and I decided to let it go. I feel like it was worth more than that because some of the used ones were selling for a little over $100. So to find one brand new like mine is just, it's hard to do. You're not going, and there was none on eBay. So maybe I could have held out, but I was only in it for $15, and the $200 sounded good at the time, so I just went ahead and took it. Now be sure on these under the cabinet radios, you do want to test them if you're buying one used. They can sell anywhere from $50 to $100 used. They are fairly large items, so keep in mind your shipping is going to be fairly expensive. Luckily, with mine being brand new, it's secure on the inside. All I had to do was put it in another box and shipped it off. I do not like shipping items and just sticking a shipping label on the outside of the box like this, simply because if somebody's giving it as a present or something like that. And plus, people can see what it is. It makes it easier for them to steal. If somebody knew this was worth money, somebody might be tempted to steal it. So, all right, so let's break down the numbers on this one. Paid $15 for this one in Alabama. Picked this one up when I was in Alabama also. Sold it for $200. It did cost me $17 to ship it. I think it went to North Carolina. Me being in Georgia, it wasn't too bad for the size and the weight of this item. eBay and PayPal took $20, so in the end, I made $148 off of this under the cabinet Sony radio. 3-disc CD changer. Okay, here's a fail, and I'm just showing you this to show you that I do make mistakes. Things do happen, and I learned something from eBay that I probably should have known, but I didn't. These are Adidas Yeezy Boost 750 with the gray gum bottoms. They glow in the dark. Let me see if I got a picture. I couldn't get a real good picture of them glowing in the dark. Here you go. I don't even know if it really shows up well, but they did glow in the dark. Soon as I posted these shoes, I started getting a couple of messages stating, hey, these are fake. These are not authentic. I don't know how to authenticate shoes, so usually what I do is if anybody sends me a message that says, hey, I don't think that these are real, I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. If you buy them, I have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and if you get them and they're not authentic, I pay for the shipping back. I have 30-day returns, and if they're not as described, you can send them back for your money to get your money back. These sat around for months and months. They kept getting watched. They were my highest watched item, but nobody was buying them. I had a couple people make offers, and then they actually retracted them, like, I just don't think those are real. And they started to kind of convince me that maybe they weren't real. But I had one person that did buy them. He gave me $250 for them. I shipped them to him, and the day he got them, he responded and said, "Hey, these are not real." He said the main way, and I checked so many listings, and everything on these looked legit. But he told me, he said, where you can find out is right here on the tag, and I don't know how I missed this, but there in the middle where you see that blank area, like below the shoe size, I think it says male, M-A-L-E in there. The authentic ones does, and this one didn't. And he said also the color of these were off a little bit from the authentic ones. So I just told him to ship them back. And then here was the second mistake I got. So when I got them back, I decided to list them as reproductions. And I put in the listing that they could possibly be real, but I've been told that they're reproductions, and I'm not a shoe expert, so. And I started an auction on them just to see what they would go for. About an hour later, I get a call from eBay, and they're like, "Hey, we don't allow listings of reproduction or fake merchandise on our platform." And I should have known that. I didn't know, but I thought maybe because I listed as reproduction, if somebody would probably want these, I probably could have got upwards of $100 for them. I mean, most people can't afford $300 to $500 for these shoes, so. But eBay took the listing down, so I don't know how to sell these shoes now. They're sitting in my inventory. I know somebody would buy them, but I don't know how to get rid of them. So if y'all have any ideas, be sure to drop it below in the comments. Would love to hear from you about what you would do. So on this one, I lost $8 that I paid for them. I also lost $10 in shipping there and $10 in shipping back. So I lost about $28 on these shoes. Okay, here is one of the Walgreens clearance items I picked up after Christmas. If y'all remember, I did a video where I picked up a ton of stuff. I think I spent almost $200. A couple things that finally started to sell. This Christmasopoly sold, brand new sealed. This was supposed to be $7.99, but when I got to the counter, the lady actually gave it to me for $4.99. So I got kind of lucky on that, which helped me actually make a little bit of profit on this one. So the numbers on this one, I paid $5 for it. I sold it for $25. It shipped priority mail it was a little over $7. eBay and PayPal got $3. So in the end, I made $10 on the Christmasopoly game. And here's the last item of this video. Here is a Funko Pops. It's a Star Trek. Picked this one up in my last haul video. I did have to pay $8 for it. I probably shouldn't have picked it up, but it did sell pretty quick. Just be sure when you're selling these Funko Pops, if you look down here in my description, I put box shows some minor shelfware. You want to notate that if there's any boxware at all, and you can see that this one has a little bit of box shelfware because the collectors of these Funko Pops are very, very specific about the box. So I probably kind of could have gotten more out of this one if the box would have been in a little bit better condition, but I think it sold within a couple of weeks, so I was pretty happy about that. So the numbers here, I paid $8 for this Funko Pop at the Goodwill, sold it for $25. eBay and PayPal, shipping was $4 on this. Funko Pops are very lightweight. They can also ship in those 10 by 8 by 6 boxes you can get from eBay. So they're nice to put them in there, ship them off, makes it simple, also gives it some protection. eBay and PayPal got $3, so in the end, we made $10 off this Funko Pop. All right, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up so I know that you're enjoying the content, and please don't forget to subscribe. We are still in a race for 1,000 this year, and I appreciate everybody that's subscribed, and it's a really great feeling to be over 300, and know that we're definitely on the way to 1,000. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them below in the comments, and I hope everybody has a great week out there reselling.